So, you want to hear a story, huh? A tale of adventure across the stars. Come, listen to old Marcus. Have I got a story?
An Amara classic. It's on now.
Laying down some heat!
hello.
Unstoppable!
For the Calypso!
you appreciate that I stopped hurting
Oh my
people
God,
for this.
That was really fast. What
Go
the heck?
on, prove yourself.
We can't stop now. There's too much to do.
Amara, say it with me. I'm a freaking legend.
Into the Calypso line!
my god, she's so fast now. What the heck? This made the early games just a lot more tolerable. That's better. What about that one? I just like coming here for the early, like, movement speed shield. Really speeds up the process.
Opportunity strikes again.
Okay, so for the balance mod, it makes like purple grenades always have free upgrades, I think. So they're gonna be a lot better just all the time. Like if you find a purple one. So that's nice. It's not gonna be like you find a purple one and it's not any good. I don't really know what all of the like balance changes are because there's so many whatever. I think it's the community patch too. But I definitely know there's that one, and then some things that like apply to reload speed also affect the slow read, cleaning off the weapon.
The trap.
Other characters besides noise also will have benefits.
Feels so right.
I haven't played Borderlands,
There's the payoff.
so probably not the best person. by stream when it comes to actually play the game in different ways, other than just being boring all the time and going with, you know, like phase grasp and like I always go with the See and Dead class mod, or I always do just rack attack rather than like fade away. I don't really try to optimize anything, so I don't really know that stuff. I mean, I know it, I'm just doing. Hopefully this will make actually get better at the game in a month. Balance for just next week in September. It'll I don't know if I'll still do anything because I'm supposed to start school. Hopefully once I start, I might go back into it. That's one thing I miss from Borderlands 1. You see the enemy shooting with a weapon. There's a chance that you'll hit them.
Hope you're warmed up.
I don't know, it's still... I think it's probably good because of the badass points that the robot called in from the person. I really want to cheat, but see about getting the skill, like cooldown boost thing. I think if you have that one ability in every spec that just like works, and you can just keep respecting it. That's yeah, we're just gonna get rid of Whitebeard. I think that's my new favorite thing about Borderlands. Well, just 3. Is it sells you gear automatically when you pick it up, which is so nice. I never thought they would add something like that. listen to the whole conversation before they let me go do it. So this is really nice. And I think they added hints too. Yeah.
Firearms in every flavor at Marcus Munitions. One more satisfied customer.
See what's down here. Sometimes it gives legendaries, I think. We'll see. The blues are the lights are being sold. Something drop back up here.
Another beautiful day in the military-industrial complex.
Anyone else want to try?
Yeah, it's really nice. I like that. Honestly, I don't think I've ever used that skill a single time other than for custom because I always like, prioritize how fast this cooldown skill. But I actually really like that. But that's that.
You nailed it. Well, they came out wrong.
It like pierces enemies too. That's really nice. I have dialogue muted, so I don't even know if they're talking about like a fact or what the heck. It skips like everything, so that's especially having I don't do like the little skip things because I like to experience everything. I think I've only done it once or twice, like when I already had a character. And it had been a while since I played, so I decided to do the level 13 one, but I haven't done the level 72 one yet, because it would be really weird to not build my character from the ground up and have practice with the synergies and try out all the little weapons that might not be as good, but I don't want to have to optimize right away just to have fun.
You can do better than that.
Oh, great. You're welcome.
For the twin god!
The speed makes the like physics of everything so aggressive. So that's amazing. And not that like the glitches, because there's been too many glitches, so
Like this is mine now.
that the ammo spawn below them. Hello?
Hi.
You
Huh?
good?
Yeah, I was waiting for my phone to charge. Because I plugged it in and it like instantly died.
Oh, that just came up on my stream. Oh well.
What?
I like did an overlay on the
Get out here, you bombs!
oh.
Really?
I have the stream playing like on my computer, and
Mm.
so I could hear like your voice talking from somewhere that was not in my headphones.
Oh, that's funny.
Um, how's Animal Crossing?
Did I just put it away? Pretty soon, yeah.
Well, I'm just sitting here talking to nobody.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, I don't care. It's just like not something I'm used to. I have to like force myself to talk because
You're just talking to yourself.
yeah, but like if people watch it back and there's just no dialogue ever, then that's not fun.
Yeah, I got you.
I've just been like trying to say my thoughts.
Just start talking about like quantum physics or something.
Oh yeah, everybody wants to
Yeah,
do it.
no, exactly.
I also don't know
Not me.
about it, so I actually talk about it.
Oh, well, just bullshit your way through it. You could just rage bait people and just start saying completely inaccurate facts, but with like full confidence. And then people will start commenting on your stream.
I think that would rely on like my one viewer to know anything about that topic.
We'll just pick a bunch of random topics.
Oh, okay.
Just start talking about just start saying shit, you know?
Yeah, it's like very controversial stuff.
Exactly.
Hey,
You know,
listen,
like-
good for this.
Like Jews.
Oh man,
Just start.
they might be able to hear you. Let's not do that. I don't know if I can block
It's
you
a,
from my
it's a
stream.
joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's gonna get me canceled before I even get off the ground.
Thank God.
Uh,
Listen, that's what they said about the moon landing, and they faked it till they made it, so. I hate this weather so much.
why?
So it was raining all day long. Okay? 40 degrees, raining all day long.
Oh, nice.
And now it's 20 degrees. Everything is a sheet of ice, like
Oh,
bad
yeah.
sheet
My
of ice.
driveway is like so crazy.
Yeah, and now it's snowing and the wind is whipping outside. So that's cool.
Well, I can figure out a way to get some sleep.
Yeah. Just shoot myself in the head, that'll help.
Oh,
But my knee is killing me because of this stupid humidity being at fucking 80%. all of the sudden, and it's freezing cold outside, and all of my joints are pissed.
You sound older than me.
Well, I mean, my joints are older than you.
Well, I don't know. I was in the Marines, I feel like that there's some sense to it, right?
Do you have arthritis in both of your knees, one of your ankle, and both of your hips? No. No. When you stand up,
Alzheimer's patient.
I know. That's why I love that job so much. Just because everybody stood up and snapped, crackled, and popped. It wasn't just me.
They're moving quicker than you.
You know, sometimes. And usually the ones that are, they're naked. And then I have to go hunt them down. That was the worst. It would crack me up though, because like it would always be for like just the most insane off the wall reasons. And so like it was worth it, because I would always be like, oh, whoever is running down the hall naked again, my turn. Just run to him. And I'd be like, hey, why are we running? And it would just be like some insane thing. I once had, did I tell you about the dementia lady, Barb, I once had? Who,
I don't think we talked much about your old job.
so this was like a long time ago patient. She's definitely dead by now, which means I can talk about it. Because you can't break HIPAA laws if the person's dead. Yeah, exactly. So she used to be our number one person to say the most off the wall shit. Like, it was always her. And the one night I went to go what was I doing? Oh, I was going to give her a shower. And what is happening right now? I was going to give her a shower, and I got everything ready. She loved showers, by the way. Like, loved them. A lot of people, especially dementia patients, they don't like showers because, like, it's cold. You gotta take all your clothes off. It's just not a fun time, you know? So, yeah, so she was like a rare commodity. She would never give us issues with taking her showers on her shower day. And so I got everything ready. Sorry, my brain is so tired right now. So I would get everything ready, and the way I would do it is I would like close the bathroom doors, and I would turn the shower on like super hot so it steams the room so it's nice and warm. And I'd turn the heating lamp on, and that way when I take the patient like into the bathroom and we have to take the clothes off, that it's not like all of a sudden they're freezing, you know? Like I was always as considerate as physically possible, because I also would hate that. So I get her in there, taking everything off. I was like, "Are you excited to get your hair washed?" Because she always loved me to do her hair. And we get her clothes off. I call the other nurse. I called the charge nurse at the time because I think somebody else was off, because she has to come do a skin check. So I called her. I was like, "Hey, so-and-so is ready. Come do a skin check." She's on her way. And I look at Barb, and I was like, "All right, Barb, are you ready for your shower?" She looks me dead in the eyes with like the most emotionless face ever. No emotion. Just deadpan. She goes, "You can't shower a dead person." It is 7:30 in the evening. What the fuck are you talking about, Barb? And I looked at her and I was like, huh? Same thing. Deadpan. You can't shower a dead person. And I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? So I looked at her and I was like, Barb, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And she says it again. And I was like, okay. Well, the wonderful thing is, you're not dead. I was like, because we're having this conversation. And we're both very much alive. I was like, so, therefore, you can take your shower. Like, I'm just here to help you. We can chit chat about anything. Like, let's just hang out and take a nice shower. And she starts yelling, "You cannot shower a dead person." And she won't stop. And I was like, dear God, oh my word, this is not happening right now. I was like, because her neighbor in the room next to her is asleep. I already put them asleep. They're all done for the night. If she wakes that person up, I'm going to have the worst night of my life. And so I was like, okay, Barb. I was like, okay, listen, it is really late. I was like, we can't be yelling right now. I was like, but tell me what's going on. I was like, do you want to take a shower later? Do you not want to take your shower? Like, what's happening? You love your showers. And she would not say anything, but you cannot shower a dead person. And so I looked at her and I was like, you know what? Let's go with this. Let's just see. And I was like, you know what, Barb? You're right. I can't shower a dead person. And she didn't say anything. And I was like, technically, that's true. I was like, because if somebody's dead, they don't need a shower. Because they're not alive. They're not getting ready for bed. They're not, like, getting into their bed in their pajamas, all that. I was like, they don't need a shower. You're right. And she, like, just looks at me. Doesn't say anything. And I was like, okay, so that's how this is going to go. I don't really care anymore. Like, I'm going to put you down as you refused your shower because, like, I don't know what to do at this point. And at that point, the nurse comes in because she was hearing Barb yell. She was like, hey, Barb, how you doing? And I was like, oh, boy, you're about to find out. Barb just looks at her and goes, you can't shower a dead person. The charge nurse looks at me and she goes, huh? I was like, you heard her. You can't shower a dead person. And she goes, is that what you were yelling, Barb? And I was like, damn right, that's what she was yelling. That's all she said since we got into this bathroom. She will not say anything else. She just is repeating the same thing over and over again. And I was like, I've tried all of the tips and tricks I can think of. Nothing's working. I don't know what else to do. Because technically she's saying, I guess, in her own way, that she doesn't want to take a shower. Even though she's not saying those words, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what she's trying to say. Which is so weird for Barb. And so we do the skin check, and I was like, okay, Barb. I was like, we don't have to do your shower. I was like, but just in case. I was like, you can't shower a dead person, but you should always make a dead person look nice, before they go to bed. Because I'm trying to just do any sort of personal hygiene on her at this point. And so I was like, we gotta brush our dentures and rinse out our mouth so our breath doesn't stank in the morning. So she let me do that. And I was like, should we brush our hair so we look all nice? I was like, you never know, like, who we're gonna be waking up to. It's like, could be a handsome man coming in here. Like, you gotta brush our hair. So I do her hair, wash her face, we wash our hands. We get into bed. She's all good for the night. I'm thinking, okay, we're good, right? Nothing else could really happen. You know, like that was the crazy thing for the night. I was wrong. So I get her to bed, give her the call bell. I was like, okay, Barb, you are all set. If you need anything, click that button and you let me know, and I'll come help you. Okay, good night. She was quiet for like, I don't know, maybe an hour, because I was starting to do charting. And her call bell goes off. I was like, oh, okay. So I go over. I get into her room. She is sitting up, stiff as a board, sitting up. Like, she just, like, in a very eerie way, you know? Like, this is a 90-some-year-old lady who's maybe 4.5 feet tall. Like, it was just weird seeing her, like, completely pinned straight, sitting up in her bed. As I open the door, I see that, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I was like, hey, Barb. She doesn't say anything. It's like, Barb, you okay? Nothing. She's not saying a word. Finally, like, I take a couple steps in, and I, like, you know, go to reach for her arm, thinking maybe she's, like, I don't know, like, sleeping and, like, almost sleepwalking, but just, you know, because she couldn't walk, so, like, she can't do that part of the sleepwalk. And so I go to reach for her arm, and she turns her head to me. You know, like in horror movies, when that shit happens, and it's like that weird, like, slow motion, and it's very much just the head of the person turning. That's exactly what happened. And so I take, like, 2 big steps back, and I was like, oh, okay. Immediately creeped out. And she's just staring at me. And I was like, Barb? I was like, are you okay? She's just looking at me. And so now I'm like, okay, listen, she's got to be asleep. Like, because Barb was the type of person that would never shut the fuck up. Like, she would talk your ear off every second of your day if she could. She was not talking tonight, and it was so weird. Like, that was what was freaking me out more than anything else. And she wouldn't say anything. I was like, Barb, I'm not about to get closer to her, because I don't know what the fuck is possessing her brain right now, but I don't want anything to do with it. And so I was like, okay, Barb, lie back down. It's bedtime. It's really late at night. Like, we gotta get some rest. And she just sat there staring at me, sitting up in her bed. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. And so I leave her door, like, slightly open, and I go back to charting. Like, a few minutes later, her call bell goes off again. I was like, son of a bitch. So I get up, I go in. She's laying down. I was like, okay, well, that's an improvement from before. So I go over. I was like, hey, Barb. I was like, you okay? Do you need anything? You clicked your call bell. She goes, no, I didn't. I was like, oh, yes, you did, Barb. I'm like, but I'm not about to fight you with this, because you're a 90-some-year-old dementia patient. You don't remember what you just did. And so I was like, okay. I was like, it might have just gotten bumped. I'm gonna put it, like, right by your pillow, so that she's not, like, it's not, like, right in her hand, you know? Because, like, you're supposed to put it into their hand. But here's the thing. It's like putting a remote control in the hand of a baby. The first thing they do is start pressing buttons. They don't know what those buttons do. So, that's pretty much the same concept when it comes to dementia patients. And so, like, if it's somebody who's really, like, a hot call beller person, instead of putting it directly into their hand, you put it somewhere near them. They can still reach it, they can still access it, but it's not directly where their thumb is going to just be clicking it and they don't know what's going on. So, I put it by her pillow. I was like, okay, Barb, it's right here. You're all set for the night, unless you need something from me. I was like, I'm gonna go do my charting. I have lots to do. So I go and I leave. Like 20 minutes go by. Her call bell goes off again. And I was like, I'm gonna lose my mind tonight. I go in. She is sitting pinned straight up in her bed again. And she's pointing to the corner of her fucking room. And I was like, absolutely not. And I leave her door wide fucking open and I turn around and I leave. Because I was like, I'm not doing that shit. Like, this place is definitely haunted enough already. I'm not dealing with Barb and whatever the fuck she's seeing in her room right now. Clearly, it's not scary enough, or else she'd be screaming.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that shit. So I go to the charge nurse down the hall, and I was like, hey, you gotta come with me right now. I was like, because I'm not walking into Barb's room alone at this moment. And she goes, why? What is she doing? I was like, listen, this is like the third or fourth time in the last 2 hours I've been in there. Because she keeps hitting her call bell. But she, A, will not speak to me. B, if she does say something, it's weird and cryptic. And C, she's doing weird fucking shit. And I was like, I don't like it. I don't like it. So she follows me in, and I'm telling her like all that's going on. And she goes, well, what's she calling about right now? And I was like, dude, she's sitting up in her bed pointing to the corner of the room. She looks at me and I was like, dead ass, go look. She goes in there. She gets 2 steps in the room. She also immediately turns around and walks out. She goes, oh my gosh. And I was like, is she still doing it? And she was like, yeah, she's still, like, it would have taken me a solid, 5 minutes to go down, get this charge nurse, and come back. And she's still in the exact same fucking position that I left her in. And I was like, yeah, see why I'm not going in there alone? And she goes, no, we're about to go in there. What?
Destroyed that guy.
Oh. And she was like, no, we're about to go in there and we're turning every single fucking light on. She goes, I don't care if she doesn't sleep for the rest of the night. I'm not doing this creepy shit. And I was like, thank you. So we go in, we turn all the lights on. Barb is not fazed by all of the lights suddenly turning on, which is so much worse. Because, if you're, sleepy and somebody just comes into your room and just starts popping lights on, you're going to be pissed. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you have dementia or not. It doesn't matter what age you are. You're going to be pissed. We flip every single light on in her room. She doesn't move. She doesn't say anything. Nothing. And I look at my charge nurse and I was like, dude, I'm not fucking doing this tonight. I was like, I'm here till 12:30. It is only 9 something at this point. I was like, I'm not doing this all night. I literally can't. I will not sleep for days if I see some shit in her corner of her room that she's been pointing to all night. I'm not coming back. I was like, I can't do this shit. I don't like it. And so we had to physically lay Barb down and put her arm down. She wouldn't talk to us. We put the covers over her arms. We tucked her in real good. And we left the lamp in the corner of her, the other corner of her room where her closet was. We left the lamp on and we didn't close her door. And we leave. And I was like, okay. Technically, I have to check her again in about an hour. I was like, so, as long as she doesn't do weird shit within that hour, I'm okay. She didn't do any weird shit within an hour. However, I go back in an hour to change her and make sure she's good for the whole night. and she's once again sitting pinned straight up in her bed, but she's pointing to the floor now. And I was like, okay, I really don't understand what's going on right now, because she won't talk to us. And so she hasn't really like talked the whole night. And so I was like, okay. I was like, hi, Barb. And she goes, they're on the floor. And I was like, no, they're not. And I just left. Like, I mean, the exact voice, she goes, they're on the floor. Like, just deadpan, no emotion. Like, I almost shit my pants. Because I was not expecting her to say a single fucking word, because she hadn't been talking the whole entire night. And now, all of a sudden, she's like, yep, there they are. And I was like, bitch, we are not doing this today. And so I like book it out of the room. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I go down, I grab my charge nurse again. I was like, get in here now. I was like, dude, I don't know what's happening, but I am not walking in that room alone. Like, and so she's just laughing. I was like, don't laugh. I was like, this is fucking weird. And so I will remember this night until I have dementia and forget it. Like, this is grilled into my brain. And so we both go in, and I was like, don't turn the lights on. I was like, don't, because I don't want night shift to be pissed at me that she's going to stay up all night. I was like, we have the lamp on. I can see really well. We're good. I was like, but she's going to do weird shit. So we walk in, and the charge nurse, she was like, Barb, what is going on? And again, Barb like cuts her off, and she goes, they're on the floor. They're on the floor. And she just doesn't stop repeating the same fucking sentence. They're on the floor. They're on the floor. They're on, and she doesn't stop. And I was like, I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna kill her. Like, this is insane. What is going on? What is inside of Barb right now? Because it's not Barb. Barb's not home at the moment. Who is that? Like, what is happening? Who is possessing my patient? So my charge nurse, being the ballsiest charge nurse ever, she goes over to where Barb is pointing on the floor and starts just like looking around. And I was like, dude, don't fuck with this. Like, there are definitely ghosts that live in this. Huh?
Like, stomp on her.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine if she started doing that? I would lose my mind. I would have lost it. I would have quit. So she starts like looking around, and I'm like, no, I'm not having anything to do with this. And she goes, Barb, what are you looking at? And she just, Barb's like a broken record right now. She's hadn't stopped saying that they're on the floor the whole time. And so I'm like inching towards the door as slowly as I could, because I was like, you know what? My charge nurse wants to do this. Some shit happens, I'm leaving her ass. She can deal with it. And so she's looking on the floor, and Barb's still pointing and talking. And then she is looking around, and she goes, Barb, who is on the floor? What are you talking about? And Barb stops talking, looks up at her, and she goes, it's all the children. They're dead. They're on my floor. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? There are no dead children on your floor. What is happening? And so I immediately get goosebumps. It's like one of those an immediate, my hands are clammy, I have goosebumps. My charge nurse just looks pale as shit. She's like, okay, this is the weirdest night ever. So she goes, Barb, like who, like what children, like trying to, rationally figure out what's going on in an extremely irrational situation. You can't throw logic at this. Barb has no logic. So she's trying to figure out who these children are, right? And Barb goes, just get them out. Like, you can finally tell that she's kind of like starting to like actually become a little bit more coherent because she's saying, normal sentences. And she's asking us to get them out. She goes, I can't sleep. I can't sleep. They're dead on the floor. And I was like, okay. Well, I don't have a shovel. And we don't have dead children on your floor. So I was like, I don't know what to do. Because she's just going to do this all night. And then I'm going to come back tomorrow and night shift's going to want to, like, kill me for no reason. I can't control this shit. So, my charge nurse, as amazing as she was, she taught me some of the weirdest shit to do with stuff like this. So she goes, okay, Barb, I'll be right back. She goes into the hallway, into the closet, and she grabs a broom. She grabs a broom. Okay? A broom. And she goes into this patient's room, and she starts sweeping the dead bodies out of the room. Barb immediately is like, thank you. What? What? That worked. And she's sweeping these dead children's bodies that aren't there out of the room. And Barb just was like, oh, thank you. Like, thank you so much. Turns around, goes to sleep for the rest of the night. That is all it took, was us getting a broom and sweeping the dead children out of her room. And I was like, dude, what? I was like, do I have to write all of these things in my notes? Because I'm going to be here for a while. She goes, well, unfortunately you do, but I also have to do it. So she's like, we can just suffer together when we write these notes. And I was like, okay, great. So we're sitting there writing our notes for the rest of the night. Not a peep out of Barb, thank God, because I don't think I could handle going into that room again for the rest of the night. It was the most insane thing just ever. Like, point blank, ever. It was wild. I loved that old woman so much. But she would just say some of the weirdest shit sometimes. But, like, that was the weirdest shit she had said, I'm pretty sure, in her entire life. That night was where everything peaked at the same time for her. That's my Barbara story. I have so many stories. Do you know what emesis is? Oh, sorry, I have the hiccups. Emesis? When someone throws up. Okay. So, you know when someone goes septic, what that means? Okay, so if you're actively septic or going septic, it means that there is a perforation somewhere in your intestines / bowels, and there is secretion leaking into your body, and it's shutting your organs down. So you're going septic, or you're having a sepsis attack. It basically is like, it will kill you. It's called the silent killer because you can't tell, that it's happening until it's too late, like 90% of the time, right?
Yeah.
So, oh my word, I have so many horror stories that I can't wait to tell you about. And they're all like the reason why I took a step away from healthcare, because Jesus Christ. So, this guy I was taking care of. Oh, you know the house I showed you a little while ago? That I was like,
Yeah.
this is my dream house? Okay, he lived in that house. There is a room in that house that is a very, very old-fashioned smoker's room. Like the way they created those rooms was designed to hold in, basically, and seep in to the wood of the room the smell of cigars. And so it was a cigar room, specifically. This old man was one of the crankiest motherfuckers I've ever met in my whole life. Very nice to me, but I think it was because I was the same age as his great-grandchildren, and so, like, he loved them, so I think that's why he tolerated me.
Mhm.
But this man was the crankiest motherfucker. Like, he looked like someone just spit on his brand new shoes all the time. Like, that's just how his face looked. He was just mad, like, permanently. So, this man was slowly dying from every type of cancer you can imagine, pretty much. So he had thyroid, pancreas, bone, throat, mouth, and something else, lung, I think, cancer, all of them. Like, this man pretty much was like, okay, how many can I rack up before I die? So he was very much like, you're not really here to take care of him because he won't let you, because he insists on being independent because he's a cranky old man. But he also is, like, dying slowly. So, I would be there and I would do the night shift while in college, which meant I got there at 7 p.m. and I left at 7 a.m. And I basically slept, like, the whole night. I did schoolwork from, like, 7 to 9:30. This man never... How do I say this sentence? This man constantly had a cigar burning. There was never a time that there was not a cigar burning. Like, it... And I cannot stress that enough. Because there were times where I was like, oh, maybe he'll sleep for a few hours. No. This man didn't sleep, ever. Have you seen the old Nosferatu, like, creepy guy with the cape and the weird nose and, like, the fucked up face? Okay, so that's what this guy reminded me of, because he just had that, like, weird facial expression constantly, like he was pissed all the time. And he was also, like, 6'4", but just like a string bean 6'4", because, you know, he's dying of every cancer on this planet. He would walk into the cigar room. He would smoke his cigar for about, like, 5 to 10 minutes. Burn it really, really, really hot right before he was about to leave the room. He'd go back to his bedroom for approximately 10-15 minutes. Enough for the cigar to, like, start to go out, but not quite. And then he'd come right back out, and then he would do it all again. That was him all night long. he would go back and forth and back and forth, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And that's all he did.
Anyone else want
He would barely eat anything. He would be watching the news 24/7. He put all of the TV remotes in a box and then duct taped the box and wrote "Do not touch" on the box so that nobody could change the channel or turn his TV off on accident. So, he was very peculiar. But this man, the last night that I had him, he was starting like, I think I did like Monday night through Wednesday nights, so I did 3 nights a week. He was really starting to like be in his room a lot more, which was the only indication, because this man did not talk to anyone. He would say goodnight, and that's it. And the only time he would say goodnight would it be like 10 o'clock or later. And if I was up doing homework and stuff, and I like would start to pack up my stuff to go to bed, that's when he would tell me goodnight. Like, it wasn't when he was going to bed, it was when I was going to bed, because he didn't sleep. So I was there for my first 2 days of the week, and he was not like, he wasn't smoking cigars like he usually did. He was in his room a lot longer than normal. And I was like, oh no. Like, that was the only sign I was given that this was about to happen. And I was like, okay, he's not doing good. And so I text the daughter like Tuesday night. And I was like, hey, just letting you know, I was like, between yesterday and today for my shift, he is actually, I think, sleeping or attempting to. And I was like, he's in his room for at least an hour before he comes back out to smoke his cigar. And I was like, so I'm just letting you know, this is a very sudden change in behavior for him, especially because he doesn't do anything ever. This is the only thing he does. I was like, so this is like I would be prepared, is basically what I told her. In like the nicest way possible, is like, hey, pretty sure your dad's gonna be dead by the time I come back next week. So so she was like, okay, thank you so much for telling me. Like, do you think I need to come over right now? And I was like, no. I was like, because he's still mobile. I was like, he's just slowing down. And I was like, and like, he's not, it's like something is definitely changing. I was like, but it's not enough of a change yet for me to be like, get over here kind of thing. So Tuesday night goes, I go to bed, I sleep the whole night, nothing happens, which was the best job ever, because I would get paid like I was making like $14.50 an hour, which, you know, for back then, for I think I was like 17, that was pretty damn good for a night shift that I just sleep the whole time. So I went to sleep, nothing happened in the middle of the night. I woke up, got all my stuff together for school. He was awake. I offered him breakfast. He declined, as usual, that he had been doing that for the last few weeks. And I was like, okay. The other aide shows up. He can't remember her name. The one thing about this dude was he was very good at remembering our names. Like, mentally, he was still so sharp. He couldn't remember her name. And I kind of look at her, and she looks at me, and I was like, okay, that's not good. And like he's starting to get frustrated with himself because he can't remember it. And I was like, oh, I think his name was John. I don't know. I was like, oh, John. I was like, man, you gotta start sleeping some more. I was like, I hear you up all night. Now you're gonna start forgetting who I am too. Like trying to make light of it. And he like just kind of shook his head, and I was like, this is so and so. I was like, you know that. I was like, it's just you're just tired. He was like, oh man. I was like, okay. Old man grumble. And so I fill her in on everything that happened that night. She starts reading through the book, and she looks at me and she goes, is he actually sleeping? And I was like, I don't know, but he's not coming out every like 10 minutes. I was like, it's a solid